Architects are tasked to consider not only technological systems, but also phenomenology in the environments that we construct. In Chapter 8, Machina Habitée, of the architecture of the well-tempered environment, Reyner Banham interrogates an icon of architecture, Le Corbusier. Charles-Édouard Jeanneret, aka Le Corbusier, was a Swiss-born architect, artist, writer, and a critical figure in purism and modern architecture. He was in a position of unrivaled esteem among architects in the early 1900s and beyond. Banham sets up a series of case studies illustrating Le Corbusier's delinquency in matters of environmental management and building systems. The cards drawn are illustrated here. Beginning with the Victoria Regia water lily house built in the 1850s, Joseph Paxton uses passive systems to create a habitat for rare plants. In the 1920s, Le Corbusier commented on building technology and lifestyle in his publication L'Esprit Nouveau, which would later turn into Towards a New Architecture. Banham regards Corb's ideas as naive, noting that all observations are drawn from his time living in Quartier Latin, Paris, not based on architectural experience. In the beginning of his career, his naivete shines through. The Villa cook cooked a hole through a photonegative due to a bare light bulb. The Villa Savoie and Pavillon Suisse had greenhouse gas effects through the roof due to excessive glazing and southern orientation. Through the Cité du Refuge, Corb tried to invent his own methods of heating, cooling, and mechanical ventilation, termed the neutralizing wall and respiration exacte, at a time when these systems already existed thanks to William Carrier. He even determined 18 degrees Celsius to be the ultimate degree of comfort, regardless of climate or cultural conditions. As a critique of that entire generation of architects, Banham writes, "The whole generation was doubly a victim, firstly of an inability of its apologists and friendly critics to see architecture as any more than a cultural problem, riding upon a conventional view of function that had not been related to 20th century needs, and secondly, of its own apparently willing submission to a body of theory more than half a century behind the capabilities of technology." Le Corbusier's oversights are evident. However, there are a few architects in the same period who succeeded in implementing building technologies. Albert Frey, a Swiss architect who worked on the Villa Savoie under Le Corbusier, designed the Illuminaire House in 1931 in Long Island, New York. Designed with the intent to leverage new building technology and build a house made of off-the-shelf materials, it became the first metal prefabricated house in the United States. Using lightweight construction with insulation board and corrugated aluminum cladding, this house stands on 6 thin pilotis and features ribbon windows. Although the design process took 2 years, the 3-story house went up in 10 days, which is impressive for today, let alone the 1930s. Pierre Chirot, Bernard Bivout, and Louis Delbet designed the Maison du Verre for the Dalsas family using steel framing, radiant heating through the form of grills in the floor slab, recessed and diffused lighting, a glass block facade, and meticulously arranged wiring. Each of Corb's environmental goals are achieved, and a new machine aesthetic is realized. Pierre Chirot later designs the Motherwell House, also exploring prefabricated components in the Quonset hut, a popular building type used in World War II. He retrofits the hut with 36-foot greenhouse window panels that greatly reduced solar heat loss in winter. One subject not mentioned in the chapter who plays a pivotal role is Jean Prouvé. He was formerly trained as a blacksmith, established his own atelier through which he met Corb and Charlotte Perriand. After World War II, he began to engage with prefabricated technology and prototyped the Maison Tropicale. He was interested in turning the building into a mechanized industry rather than a craft-based carpentry. The Maison Tropicale, despite its French colonial implications and costly production, was a prefabricated house consisting of aluminum and steel flat-packed components. Prouvé's work with the implementation of passive cooling systems and sunshades were a feat of building technology. Though one of the most esteemed architects of the century failed to implement functional building systems into his architecture, several others truly engaged in the machine aesthetic and building technology. Albert Frey, Pierre Chirot, Bernard Bivout, and Jean Prouvé were able to achieve and interrogate their present condition and challenge it further. In 1971, Prouvé played a pivotal role in Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers winning the Centre Pompidou competition, a building that truly embraces the systems with which we surround ourselves. And there you are, a composite of Chapter 8, Machine à Habiter.